So good evening and welcome to the showcase for the Fall 2015 TechArb cohort. Yeah! The express purpose of tonight is to celebrate all the accomplishments of the graduating class and to share with you all that they've been working on over the past few months. Moreover, I think that we should let tonight also serve as a celebration of the state of entrepreneurial education here at the University of Michigan. For the students here tonight have benefited from the direct involvement in a vast number of programs and opportunities and classes here. The presentations and demos you'll see tonight are a direct reflection of that engagement. For those of you I haven't met yet, my name is Ryan Gorley, and I'm the director of TechArb. And what that means is I have the distinct privilege of working with all the students you're going to meet tonight on a daily basis. On behalf of the program and our parents, the Center for Entrepreneurship and the Zell Lurie Institute for Entrepreneurial Studies, I'd like to thank you all for coming out tonight. Your support is essential to the success of our programs. Truly, we could not do it without you. And at the very least, it helps provide a little validation and motivation for the work that we do. We're getting a little feedback, so I'll adjust that. Moreover, as an alum of Michigan, someone who studied entrepreneurship here and who has participated in many of the programs, including TechArb, I know firsthand how much that support means to students. I can personally attest to the fact that it's often engagement and collaboration with the wider community that, thank you. Not a big deal. We got some guys here who can fix it, I'm sure. I can personally attest to the fact that it's often the engagement and the collaboration with the wider community that enables and pushes students to go as far as the ones here tonight have. I thought I would open the evening by saying a few words about what TechArb is and what we do for those who are uninitiated. But rather than tell you, we thought it would be best just to show you. We've been very fortunate to work with a number of very talented student filmmakers here, and this is what they put together.
TechArb is the University of Michigan Student Startup Incubator. What we do is we accept student entrepreneurs from across campus.
You can make little innocuous conversation, because what that means is you're starting to practice.
I think TechArb offers a unique opportunity, one that's that you can't find elsewhere at the university or beyond. It provides the opportunity for student entrepreneurs to take everything that they're learning in the classroom, from their readings, from their lectures, and apply it to the real world.
It's always good to work with all the people that share the same passion with you. Definitely join.
Something that's really real for them, their own startup.
So what we did is we made a machine that makes machines. A mobile marketplace for sustainable products.
All natural fish feed for the future.
And we're able to help these entrepreneurs move their businesses along the continuum by offering them a few resources we have here. Entrepreneurs who are serious about it, who are in it to win it, who are gonna, start their business out of TechArb. Get them all in the same room, and so many bright, sharp minds, and you just watch the magic unfold. It's a lot of fun.
Opportunity.
Awesome.
Invigorating.
Innovative.
Connections.
Empowerment. Mentorship.
Community.
Yeah, community.
That, I think, is something that is really hard to capture, but probably once you have it, it's our greatest value.
All right, so as you heard, TechArb is largely about community, the community being built within it and the community built around it. So thank you all for being a part of that community. With no further ado, I'd like to introduce our presenters tonight. They're all very excited to show you what they've been working on. these past few months, and I know we're all excited to see what you have to show us. So first, we're going to have Eric Katz of Kulisha join us. Let's hear it for Eric.
Hello everybody, my name is Eric and I'm here to pitch our venture Kulisha. Now, Kulisha is a revolutionary for-profit company that produces a commercial grade fish feed for fish farmers in Kenya that helps to increase their yields. Now, I want to start by talking a little bit about aquaculture, wild fisheries, and the potential of fish. So fish have a huge potential to feed this growing population. It's the most efficient way to get animal protein to people around the world. However, the oceans are currently being fished at capacity, which is having severe environmental and social implications. Aquaculture is a way to maintain the benefits of the potential of fish, but also removing the problems associated with ocean trawling. So currently the average African consumes about 30% of their protein and micronutrient intake from fish. There's also a growing middle class in Kenya, which is leading to a 5 times increase in aquaculture production over the past 4 years. Now, my co-founder Viraj is from Kenya and has identified one main problem in the aquaculture industry there, and that's the lack of access to cheap, high-quality feed. So I want to introduce you to Mochomi. He is from Viraj's village, and he is currently a farmer in Africa. And I want to take you through what he has to do to get feed. He first has to source inaccessible and only seasonally available ingredients. He'll then grind, measure, and mix those, and then pelletize them using basic kitchen tools such as a meat pulverizer or a pasta maker. After that, he'll then sun-dry the pellets, leaving him with a low quality and inconsistent feed. Now, Mochomi isn't the only farmer that we've interviewed. We've interviewed 32 farmers, and of those, 30 have currently displayed dissatisfaction with their current feed options. Now, let's talk about the alternatives. So I just talked about homemade feed that's timely and inconsistent. Next is Kenyan-made feeds. However, there's very little aquafeed production in Kenya, so what most people are buying is actually a poultry feed. This is suboptimal and not floatable. The homemade method doesn't have a floatable feed either, and what that means is that the feed doesn't float, and so it's much more difficult for the fish to consume, as well as it sinks to the bottom and dirties the water quality. Finally, there's imported feeds. These are very expensive and inaccessible. One common theme among all of these feeds is that they're all made with ocean trawled fish, which is what I was talking about earlier. And there's lots of feed made with fish. In fact, 30% of the wild fish caught goes to producing animal feed. And there was a study that came out of Stanford that said if 50% of the world's aquaculture industry would stop using fish meal as a protein base, our oceans would be saved. That's a pretty powerful statement. So what do we want to do? We want to make a fish feed out of insects. Now, why do we want to use insects? And the insect that we're choosing to use is black soldier fly. The reason for that is because black soldier fly are native to Kenya, so it poses no environmental risk. Also, there have been preliminary studies done on this insect and have shown increased yields of 18 to 34% among our target customers' fish. Also, among the 30-plus interviews that we farmed, there's been no demonstrated fear or hesitation in switching to our product. It has no effect on the end taste or quality of the fish, and these insects are not vectors for disease. Also, this is a natural-based feed. If you think about fly fishing, this is something intuitive. We're trying to just bring things back to the basics. So we have 2 main customers. The first are hatcheries. They have a little bit higher willingness to pay because they have a higher protein requirement and a less specific size requirement. They'll then sell their fish to grow-out farmers, which then develop them for the end consumer. They have a less specific protein requirement and a less specific size requirement, which means they have a little bit lower willingness to pay. Our plan is to really dominate the hatchery market because that's where we believe the profits are. So I want to compare our product to some of the things I mentioned earlier. And what I really want to point your attention to is the food conversion ratio. What that means is the amount of feed that I feed my fish to the amount of weight that the fish puts on. So ideally, I want that to be as low as possible because that means I'm feeding my fish very little feed, but they're growing very quickly. Our product is superior to all feeds in that segment, which is why it produces higher yields. So homemade feed. We are a little bit more expensive than them. However, because it's so timely and difficult to produce, current farmers have demonstrated that they'd be willing to pay extra to switch. It also results in fines, which are pieces that are too small to feed the fish, and is very timely and is only seasonally available ingredients. So the feed is inconsistent. Kenyan-made feeds are about price competitive or slightly cheaper. However, like I said, it's primarily poultry feed, so it's low quality and can actually contain up to 30% gravel. Customers have also been willing to have also demonstrated that they'd be willing to switch from Kenyan feeds. Finally, we have imported feeds. Now, this is where our biggest competitor is because they're really dominating the hatchery market right now, and this is where we want to come in. So not only are we a superior feed, but we undercut them in costs, and they're very difficult to find. So where in the value chain do we occupy? Well, we really want to occupy the insect production realm. So what that looks like is we first catch flies to maintain the genetic diversity of our colony. We'll then put them in the hatchery where they'll lay eggs. They'll be moved to the nursery, and after 4 days, those eggs will hatch. They'll then move to our major production facility where they'll be fed food scraps until they grow after 2 weeks, and then we'll harvest them. Next is feed processing. We're working with Fanway feed pellet equipment manufacturers to buy equipment from them so that we have the processing capabilities. Finally, marketing. So we've developed a partnership with the government, which is extremely powerful. They'll be trialing our feeds, and why this is so significant is because aquaculture has really been encouraged by the Kenyan government. In every county in Kenya, there's a government fisheries building that leads discussions, forums, workshops on how you can effectively grow feed faster, where they recommend products. Because we'll be trialing with them, if the product is successful, they'll recommend our feed to farmers. We also, through this, have the contacts for every farmer that's registered in Kenya. We hope to distribute this through Cooper K Brands, which is a leading animal health retailer and distributor, not just in Kenya, but all of Africa. They have over 13,000 locations in Kenya alone and have demonstrated interest in carrying our product. So I want to talk about the social implications. First is reduced methane. This comes from diverting food waste that would normally go to landfills to feed this fish. These costs, by the way, are per farmer per year. The average farmer is consuming about 50 kilograms per month. So the methane that I just mentioned is the equivalent of taking 79 cars off the road a year. Next is what I was talking about a little bit earlier with ocean fisheries. So not only is it environmentally damaging, but it really disproportionately affects coastal communities like Kenya that are dependent on fishing as a source of livelihood. We also have increased yields for farmers. We're planning on bringing in additional revenues of about $700, which doesn't sound like much, but it's over 30% of what the average Kenyan farmer is making right now. So these increased yields will increase the food supply and help reduce malnutrition in a food insecure area. The total social cost savings of this per farmer are $30,000. So let's talk about the team. I co-founded this with my best friend Viraj. We met at the Quinault Native American Reservation in Washington, and we were working with one of the largest hatcheries in the continental United States. And he mentioned to me the problems that Kenyan farmers are going through. So this is where we kind of thought of this idea. But since then, we've expanded. We took on Maya, who's from Costa Rica and also goes to Brown University, like my partner Viraj. She studies environmental science and has experience with insect production. We next have Lunalo. He went to the University of Nairobi and is also Kenyan. He's been helping to interview some of the farmers and developing the partnerships that I was talking about a little bit earlier. Finally, we have Arjun, who is Kenyan as well and is studying mechanical engineering at UCLA. He's helping us to design this proprietary system. So let's talk about our partners. First, we have partners in the insect production world. Dr. Philip Taylor and Dr. Chrysanthus Tanga are leading researchers in Kenya and America that are helping us to design this proprietary system. Next, we've partnered with the head of the Kenya Marine Fisheries and Research Institute and a professor here in SNRE. They're going to help us design a study to test our feed with fish in Kenya. We've also been selected as one of 10 finalists from over 400 different teams from over 100 different countries to pitch at the Global Thought for Food Summit in Zurich. And this has exposed us to a bunch of incredible opportunities, as well as gives us the opportunity to win cash prizes and meet industry leaders. So we were able to have a discussion with the Wharton Social Venture Fund, and we'll find out next week if we're going to be pitched to their investment committee. We've also been able to go through a 10-week boot camp with Startup Pirates, which is a startup consulting agency. We've also been working with various other organizations, both at the University of Michigan and Brown, such as TechArb, and have currently raised over $20,000 to fund this idea. We believe that this idea can revolutionarily change the way that people feed fish and therefore the way that we feed the world. Please help us feed this revolutionary product into being. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. That is quite impressive. And Eric did not mention, but he is also a finalist in the Michigan Business Challenge. Is that correct? Tomorrow in the social impact track. So catch him tomorrow at the Ross School of Business in the colloquium, which I believe is on the 5th floor, and you'll get to hear that pitch again. All right, our next speakers are Kristen Shepard and Jackie Wolf of Broke.
Can you hear me? Yeah, I think we're good. Okay. So, hi, my name is Kristen Shepard. This is Jackie Wolf, and we're Broke, a mobile personal finance tool that allows banks to reach, teach, and retain college students and on a larger level, millennials. So, in 2014, 18% of millennials changed banks. That's twice the rate of Generation X and 6 times the rate of baby boomers. Why are millennials changing banks so frequently? Well, one of the principal reasons is mobile technology, or in this case, a lack thereof. 33% of millennials will stay with a bank if they have good online services. But traditionally, those good online services have been reserved for only the biggest banks. The biggest banks with the largest budgets. So it's really the community and the mid-sized banks that are losing out as the gap continues to grow between the expectations of what millennials are looking for and what the banks are able to actually provide in terms of innovative technology. As an example, nearly half of the millennials stated in this Accenture survey that they wanted their bank to actually provide tools to help them create and monitor budgets. But there's a lot of budgeting technology, we'll say, already out there. So why isn't this technology currently working? Well, one of the main problems for banks is that they're not actually the customers. These are targeted towards the end consumer. And so the bank's needs are bypassed. Another one is that there's a third-step verification process, so the technology is actually incompatible with the majority of the banks. Also, if you are one of the 2/3 of students that take out loans, which I'm one of them, in August and January, your budgets are looking great. But then you will slowly go down into red because that's where your cash flow is at. And it doesn't make students feel good about their money, and it also makes them not want to work on their personal finances.
So Broke has a 3-pronged solution to this. The first one is actually with the budgeting. And students, they don't know where to begin, and so we start off with having an automated budgeting structured based on the user. So it's customized, it's automatic. And additionally, when students go and they look at their bank account, you have basically 2 or 3 lump sums. You have what's in your checking account, what's in your savings account, and that's not how students think of their budgets. They think of it as one, okay, well, I have money I have to put into my rent, there's money I have to put towards spending groceries, there's money I have to spend on coffee. And so this really takes advantage of that and spells out to the students and millennials how much money they currently have in that jar, what looks like normal, what doesn't. Additionally, none of these other products are offering context. And so when we did over 100 customer discovery interviews, oftentimes people would say, I made $100 last week. I have no idea where it went. I don't know what I spent it on. And so this gives the user understandable information back to, okay, what were you doing during them? It imports information from your calendar, from your social media. And so it gives you the social context to where your spending happens. And additionally, we provide peer comparison. And so you're able to see what your peers who look like you, who live in the same area, are also spending, so you can understand where you fit in relationship to them. And then finally, we're nudging students and millennials. People often said, I would love to make a change. I have no idea what behaviors I need to change, where I can cut down, where I need to move things to. And so, for example, by taking in this information, we can analyze and say, hey, it looks like at 7 o'clock every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you're stopping by Starbucks, and it looks like your calendar, it says you have a 7:30 a.m. chemistry class. It's easy enough for us to create something that says, hey, 6:30 a.m., good morning, wake up, it's time to make a cup of coffee, because there's a 98% chance you're going to spend money at Starbucks today. So how are we planning on making money? It didn't seem intuitive to us, nor our consumers, that you would spend money on an app to really save money. And so our ideal is to actually white label, partner with small to mid-sized banks that don't have the technology to really support students and their needs, but are really wanting to help bring them in and help them understand what their finances look like. And so we would have a one-time setup fee and additional licensing fee from month to month. There is a lot of competition out there, and we recognize that. Every time we talk about our pitch, someone's like, oh, have you heard of Mint? And we're like, yes, we've heard of Mint. And Mint is great. Mint has been revolutionary. But Mint really isn't flexible enough for our consumer. Mint doesn't think about the way money happens to be the way that our students think about it and the way that millennials think about it. And so millennials don't think of money in a vacuum. They think about all of these other contexts surrounding them. And none of the other competition is doing that. They're not giving you a context you're spending, nor are they really showing you what your peers spend. And so I have no idea if my $100 a month coffee habit is normal. It could be completely normal, completely abnormal, but I have no idea. And so therefore, I don't know how to change my spending. And Kristen's going to talk to you about what the banks get out of this whole deal.
Yeah, so the value that we're providing to the banks is we want to grow their customer base and also grow the wallet share, or the amount of money that customers put into the bank. So there's 3 key reasons as to why a customer would put more money into the bank. One is if the bank actually invests in their financial well-being, if it helps them reach their financial goals, and if it customizes products and services to actually fit the customer's needs. And the Brokeout aims to give banks a 10x return on the initial price that we would be providing, that Jackie talked about. For customers, we aim to help them save money. It's a sad fact that in some of our research, we came across that 1 in 10 college students will actually pay over $710 in overdraft fees. So we want to help them save money. A lot of this is coming from an awareness of that they don't realize of what exactly is coming in at the moment that something else is going out. And so we want to create an awareness around that and give every dollar a job so that they halt unnecessary spending and providing a benchmarking context so that they understand what is normal for them or their peer set.
So we spent basically 18 months on this passion project. Kristen and I met over a year ago in September, pitched this at New York, changed a lot since then. But really, the concept has been validated over and over and over again. People have indicated, yes, I understand I'm not financially savvy. I have no idea how to get there. Yes, I would love my bank to help me out with this, but I don't know how to even start talking to them about money. And so we've done a lot of market research. We've done a lot of validation. We're currently finishing up our prototype, and so if you come and visit us back at our table, we can show you on our phones what we've been working on, and finishing up our MVP to really prove the value of what we're looking at developing here. And we're also in the progress of working with channel partners. And where we're going in the next 6 months is really developing our first customer and fundraising. And so this is our team. I'm Jackie, and this is Kristen, and we have Anirudh and Paul is here, our intern, and Nick, who couldn't make it. And this is our team. I mean, we're really well-rounded, a whole bunch of user experience designers, some computer science majors, and an MBA making. So we're really excited to move this product forward. Thank you for coming out.
Our next speaker is Steven Schmatz of Mist Shopping.
Hi everybody, my name is Steven Schmatz, and I'm a co-founder of Mist. Mist is a next-generation shopping app for brands that have a positive impact. We're trying to make shopping rewarding, inspiring, and sustainable by providing a better interface for both the buyer and the seller. But before I tell you about what this looks like, let me tell you about Jessica. Jessica loves buying fair trade products, but she's frustrated because often what this means is she either has to stick to those few fair trade brands that she knows, or she has to rely on luck when browsing new products. And on the other hand, there's somebody like Sarah who's trying to start her own fair trade socks business, but she's also having a hard time because in order to really establish her brand as one that does good, she has to launch an expensive social media marketing campaign. And in order to compete with the bigger brands, she has to hire SEO experts and web developers to build an online store for her. So it's clear that these two people could benefit from each other. But since Jessica will probably never be able to find Sarah's brand nor verify its legitimacy, the connection will probably just never happen. And Jessica's not alone. It turns out that over 19.5 million millennials use shopping apps and care about sustainable products. And we want to make a better interface for both sides. And so my images aren't showing, so that sucks. But imagine that there's an iPhone with a lot of pretty images on it. Our solution is a visual-centric shopping app that hosts exclusively products that have a positive impact. So, for example, you could buy clothes like a shirt that supports fair trade, or a water bottle where if you buy it, they plant a tree. Users like Jessica will be able to easily browse products because everything is in one place. We have a beautiful curated feed full of photography and inspiring GIFs as well. And this is customized to the user preferences based on what they've seen and what they like. And then next, users will be able to filter by cause. So you're going to be able to see these excellent cause pages of products that are featured. And we feature products week by week. And finally, once the user finds something that they like, they can easily purchase it with Apple Pay. Often this means that you don't even need to enter additional credit card information or shipping information if you've already done that in another app. So it's an incredibly streamlined process. And then once you're done, you can track your impact through your purchases. Shit. Well, let's just keep going. So there's no better time to launch an app like Mist. We're at the intersection of two really, really cool trends. So first of all, the proliferation of mobile commerce. Users are buying more and more on mobile, and the average price of the products that are being bought on mobile is increasing desktop levels, including designer handbags. And in addition to that, the top retailers are also selling more on mobile. And so this presents a huge opportunity to those rest of the three quartiles who it's hard for them to sell on mobile because they don't have the resources to do so. And additionally, we're at the intersection of another trend, which is sustainable shopping sells. So users are more likely to buy and recommend products that support a cause, as well as buying them regularly. At least this slide looks good. So the mobile commerce industry is burgeoning, like I said, and mobile retail is worth $25 billion and growing fast. What we want to target are those millennials who both use shopping apps and care about positive impact products. We want our shopping app to be more like a browsing app than something like Amazon. So we want our ideal user to be something like someone who uses apps like Instagram and Visco late at night and is looking for inspiring products and likes buying products with positive impact and sharing them with their friends. And for the companies, we're looking for small companies who are getting their first chance to sell on mobile. This is what the competitive landscape looks like. So at the bottom, you have this big group of a bunch of companies that don't really have a big focus on positive impact. And you see it's a very crowded space, and it has a wide variety of different design styles. And so Spring is interesting because Spring is one of the new players in the high-end retail market, and they focused on having an ease of use and a great design quality. And they've been doing really well because of that. And so we want to bring great design and ease of use to sustainable shopping, because that's what it's been missing. And as for our product, here's where we are right now. We've built an alpha. We've been working since October, and we finished an alpha in December. And since then, we've been refining our design for the beta, and we just finished our prototype a month ago. Now we're getting more companies on our app, and we're revising the product list, and we want to launch this summer. And when we launch, we're going to have, again, like I said, this beautiful feed of a bunch of different products, ability to track your impact through your purchases, and ability to search by cause. Our revenue model is very straightforward and well proven. We're going to take a 15% commission on every transaction. And since the average price of products bought through mobile retail right now is $89, this means we're roughly going to get $13 per transaction. We're also considering other methods of monetization, such as having ability for companies to launch engagement experiments and seeing aggregated anonymous user engagement data. There's no shortage of talent on our team. Robin and I have both made a startup in the past and have worked on several apps together, and have worked at industry-leading startups doing software engineering roles. We also have an Android developer on our team who just recently joined, as well as a really good marketer. But we couldn't have done this without help from people who invested a lot of time and energy into us. So I just really want to thank TechArb so much for providing the amazing mentorship and the amazing community of student entrepreneurs who are working on incredible projects. That's all I have. If you have any questions, please visit us in the back. We're going to be in the corner. I would love to actually show you what the app looks like. And yeah, thanks for listening.
So next, let's hear from Abby, Margaret, and Lily of Skillet.
You know that moment when you're leaving work and you call your significant other or your roommate and you ask, "What's for dinner?" I don't know about you, but I hate it when there's that awkward pause on the other line, because that means that it was my turn to handle it. So what are your options then? For a lot of people, it's takeout or frozen meals. And those are quick and easy, but they don't always ensure health. What about a home-cooked meal option? Everybody likes a home-cooked dinner, but the last thing you want to do after a long day of work is go all the way to the grocery store and figure out what to cook. We all share these common pain points around dinner time. Getting to the grocery store, picking out a recipe, looking for new ingredients are time-consuming and inconvenient activities. As our lives get busier, we are forced to make trade-offs between cost, time, and nutrition. We need convenience, but are increasingly aware of how unhealthy some of these meal options can be, especially processed and frozen meals. To prioritize cost and health, 90% of Americans are eating home-cooked meals at least once a week. However, just because people are cooking at home doesn't mean it's gotten easier. From over 150 of our own customer discovery interviews, we found that over 80% of individuals are deciding what to cook at the last minute at least once a week. And these last-minute decisions are very stressful, and they often result in people eating something less satisfying than they want. So when you're dashing home from work, what if you had a dinner option that did not require a big trip to the store, but was still healthy, delicious, and affordable? Not a frozen meal, but something that minimizes meal prep time just the same. We have your solution. We are excited to introduce you to Skillet, a grab-and-go dinner kit with the fresh ingredients and detailed recipe that even the novice chef in your family can whip together. We use local and seasonal ingredients to maximize freshness and boost the local food economy. Our kits come in 1, 2, and 4 portions, and we use sustainable packaging in all of our kits. Our kits are sold at smart self-service kiosks, like the one you see here, that are easily found via our Skillet app, and they're in convenient locations throughout your community that you pass by every day. Our smart kiosks collect data. They're equipped for data analytics, and they use RFID technology to collect data so that we know what our customers are eating and when they're buying. That way we can do inventory management live and restock our kiosks as soon as a customer takes some kits. Our website, app, and social media presence will help us get feedback on what people want for dinner. We really value our customers' feedback, and we want to know what you guys want for dinner. Doesn't matter what we like, we want to hear from our customers. So where can you find one of these kiosks? We partner with local organizations such as workplaces, gyms, transit centers, and even your apartment building. Our goal is to bring dinner to you and make it less stressful. So based on our customer discovery, we have narrowed down our target customer segment to 25 to 30-year-olds who are working full-time, living in mid-sized US cities like Ann Arbor. Our customers don't have children yet, but they do value healthy choices for their family and loved ones just the same. After talking to over 150 of these customers, these are some of the things that we found. People are bored of their current recipes in their lineup. They want something new and exciting, but they recognize that looking for new recipes and going to the grocery store and hunting down ingredients are time-consuming and inconvenient, and they don't want to have those leftover ingredients if they didn't like it. People are also lacking time to meal plan and cook, and although people don't give themselves enough credit, they say they don't have enough time to cook, but our customers are actually cooking 4 times a week, which is still a significant amount of time spent cooking. And lastly, people are planning what to cook at the last minute, like you saw on the last slide. And probably most importantly, people are demanding convenience. So one of our customers said that if this was on her way home from work to her house and she didn't have to go out of her way on commute, this would be a perfect option for her. Too many of the convenient options are just a little bit out of the way, and that deters you from buying them. So where does Skillet fit into the industry? Food is a $1.2 trillion a year business. While still relatively new, the meal kit industry, such as Blue Apron, Plated, and HelloFresh, is estimated to be over $5 billion. And these delivery services have been growing rapidly since 2012. While these delivery services do show a demand for meal kits and are validating the meal kit idea, customers are concerned. They're concerned with their high costs, their inflexible schedules, so a lot of them are subscription services, and they have a large amount of packaging waste, as you can see here. This is something that we are not going to do. So also big players in the frozen food space, which is another one of our competitors, have recognized America's changing dietary preferences. Packaged frozen dinner sales have declined since 2011 as customers shift towards healthier, fresh food options. And this demonstrates Skillet's opportunity to capture this market share. So as the only company selling meal kits through a self-service kiosk, Skillets is changing the way people cook and eat dinner. We're empowering customers to fit home cooking into their busy schedule. Unlike Blue Apron, our innovative distribution model lets customers buy Skillet exactly when and where they need it.
So looking at our initial market size, just here in Ann Arbor, there are over 12,000 people in the age demographic that Margaret described. And if each of them buys one Skillet kit a month, that represents a $2.2 million market. From our customer discovery, we also saw significant interest in other age groups and higher income brackets. So we estimate that if all Ann Arbor households making above $50,000 a year bought one Skillet kit a month, that's a $5.6 million market. Expand to Metro Detroit, $10.4 million, and Detroit is just the beginning. Markets like this exist all over the country, and we'll get back to our growth plans. Our team is made of graduate students in business and public health, and we have a shared passion for making good, healthy food accessible for all. To make Skillet a success, we're leveraging the experience that we have in small business development, nutrition education, social marketing, and of course, cooking and eating, our favorite thing. You should see our team meetings. They're crazy. From the start, we've grown Skillet by building strong community partnerships. In addition to being grateful participants in TechArb, we're members of Food Lab Detroit and the MSU Product Center, both of which have extensive experience bringing food products to market. And the Product Center is helping us design eco-friendly, unique packaging for our dinner kits. Michigan Dining is interested in piloting our kits in their retail locations with the option to expand across campus, including to the hospital system. And we've begun conversations with partners in the community like the YMCA here in Ann Arbor to negotiate plans for opening our first kiosk this summer. Each of our kits is priced at $7.50 a serving, so the margin on a 2-portion kit priced at $15 is just under 50%. Assuming that we can sell 50 kits from one kiosk every other day, we estimate we can make $18,000 by the end of the year, and over $7.2 million in sales by year 5. With our growth strategy, we project a before-tax net income of $2.5 million by year 5. We just earned our food safety certification so that in the next few months, we can begin testing our product through pop-ups around town at local businesses like Menlo Innovations, hi, and various campus locations, including the Ross School of Business, to introduce our product and gather feedback so that we can improve and introduce our brand before we launch our first kiosk this summer. We're also currently working with a local consultant to develop our web application. And after this first year, we project steady growth. We plan to open kiosks in multiple new locations a year. With the right partners and investors, we see many exciting opportunities for us to grow from here, expanding into other revenue streams and other customer segments, including opportunities like kid-friendly dinners, specialty or co-branded sauces and ingredients, and a business-to-business model as a wellness benefit for employees or as an amenity in an apartment building. Skillet is entering the market at a critical time. From our packaging to our point of purchase, we are revolutionizing the way that people cook dinner. When you haven't planned ahead, Skillet is the convenient, healthy dinner option that you can rely on. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. I should say it's nice that we'll have the kiosk in Menlo right next door. We might need one for ourselves, so let's talk, okay? All right, and then last but certainly not least, tonight we have Ramsey Zellcade of Entrepreneurial.
So my partner is actually in the back wearing that little silly cap on top of her head. Gives you a little bit of foreshadowing as to what I'm going to talk to you about. So my name is Ramsey Zellcade. I'm an electrical engineer and soon-to-be neuroscience PhD from the University of Michigan. And I want you guys to imagine using your mind to control things such as cars, wheelchairs, and even robots. Now this technology already exists, only it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars and requires surgery. Over the last 5 years at Entrepreneurial, I've spent my PhD time developing a technology that allows you to do what I just described, all non-invasively and for a fraction of the cost. And I encourage all of you to go back to our kiosk and actually see it for yourself. But for the moment right now, I'll show you guys an actual video. Here you see our Chief Science Officer, Dr. Shayama, controlling a little Lego Mindstorm and waving hello to everyone here in the audience. You guys gonna wave back? Come on, there we go. Here we have a wheelchair that we
programmed in order to be controlled using only your brain activity. Now I want you guys to pay particular attention to the speed and precision of our technology. This is truly transformative stuff. A full-size Nissan Versa, also controlled using only your brain activity for the Discovery Channel on a TV show called Outrageous Acts of Science. You guys are witnessing the future right here. So where do we fit in this giant pool and market? Well, right now there is some amazing technology happening in the augmented reality and virtual reality space, AR, VR. Now, the hardware is next generation. However, the software is not. These next tools that you see actually combine augmented reality with brain technology. These three companies are developing this type of technology, and HTC is planning on adding it to their next consumer-grade system. So we see that in the future, we are going to not only have experiences in three-dimensional space, but also interact with it with our mind. The main issue that's going on is that right now, the only applications that they have is simple meditation applications to see how calm you are, or one-dimensional applications. And by that I mean, think of that little car that you guys just saw. Imagine it moving forward and back. That's one-dimensional movement. And that is all they can do. Our technology allows for full multi-dimensional control at incredibly high accuracies and an incredibly fast response rate. This is the fastest non-invasive or non-surgical brain-computer interface that currently exists. So how does it work? My image has got a bit warped here. But basically, the person views an image, which you can see right here, and we flash a small visual stimuli that's barely visible to them. Now what happens there is it activates an area in their occipital lobe, and then that we record and we interpret their brain activity and allow the person to control devices. Now what about our team? Once again, I mentioned to you guys, I'm an electrical engineer in neuroscience, soon to be PhD. I'm considered one of the world experts in brain-computer interfaces, and I got an Neuroscience Innovator Award for the technology I'm showing you today. Dr. Xiaoya Ma, who's the one over there wearing the cap, she's our Chief Science Officer, and she has been developing brain-computer interfaces for 2 years and combining them with consumer goods. We have Max Jacobson, who's actually in Chicago for our team doing some interviews, and he is CPA and CFO of our group. And then we have Michael Thompson, who's our Vice President of Business Development, just joined our team, and he's been doing amazing things. And I'm actually happy to announce to you guys today that officially we added a new member who has 35 years in the marketing experience, Ty Damon. If you could just stand up for a second. There you are, right there. Right now we're recruiting people to help take care of all the little areas that we're going to need to push forward. Together we have 10 years of neuroscience and engineering experience, 7 years of business development experience, and I've been on 2 other startups previously, one of them that is successful and generating revenue. Our team is fully committed in the long term to make this technology a reality. But most importantly, we also work with a significant amount of mentors and advisors who've been helping us move forward. So our strategy is to target the augmented reality and virtual reality market. The reason for this is because it has a compound annual growth rate of 70%. So it's going to be the next big thing. There's a constant need for these companies to differentiate their product, and we have the technology that allows them to have the next generation of immersion and interaction. The market size is enormous for what we're looking for. It's about a $150 billion market, and augmented and virtual reality is actually about $20 billion market. Now, brain technology included with augmented reality and virtual reality is estimated to be about a $6 billion market by 2020. So it's a growing trend, and it's going to be the future. How do we make money? This is the most important thing that all the judges probably want to know. Well, we plan on selling a headset that's actually being developed by Wearable Sensing. So we are not in charge of the headset. Our particular piece is the software development kit that allows anyone to start developing technology that can be controlled with their brain activity. So our software development kit. And I'm also happy to tell you guys that we have 3 partners that we plan on licensing our technology to that have already agreed to our technology. All right, guys, I said this right now. We have 3 partners that we already have as licensing partners. This is a big achievement, guys. Come on. We were also at the Consumer Electronics Show. We made a lot of connections there. And companies such as Lego and Microsoft have even invited us to show our technology to their innovation and product teams. We're actually planning on flying to the Netherlands to meet up with LEGO innovation representatives and demonstrate our technology to them for future product integration. And the reason that they've invited us is because they see the value of our technology. Imagine actually feeling like you're using the Force instead of just pressing the A button. Imagine controlling a drone using your brain activity in a game like Call of Duty. How cool would that be? And one of our licensing partner, Puzzlebox, actually makes this little helicopter here that uses brain activity. And all I can do right now is go up and down. And we've worked with them in the past. They're the ones that we did the brain-controlled car. And so they've been jumping at us to try to get this technology out there so they can implement it to their helicopter and make it move around. So big picture, once again, we're selling a headset kit with our software development kit, and we're going to be licensing our software development kit, so the software itself. What about our financials? Well, initially, we're not going to be making any revenue in 2016, but in 2017 is when we're going to start selling our technology. Our initial sales are going to focus on headsets, but long term, we're going to be playing in the licensing field. Now, this is a very important play because hardware is always going to get better. There's going to be companies out there developing better headsets, and we don't want to play that battle. We want to play the licensing battle because that way we can be the ones who continue to develop next generation technology that's going to change the way how everyone interacts with the world. What about our competition? There's a lot out there. This right here is an example of the consumer end. And what you can see when it comes to dimensions of control, accuracy, and speed, we blow them away. We're actually more closely related to surgical techniques such as brain gate. However, we cost a fraction of the price, and we're non-invasive. And to this point, I haven't talked to any gamers that want to get their brain cut open just to play games with their mind. Oh, the last one didn't come in. I wonder if my slide didn't come in. But the last one is eye trackers, such as Tobii. Now, these eye tracker technologies only allow for two-dimensional movement, so they can only move the x-axis and the y-axis. And their accuracy and speed varies depending on the person using it. So we really have some significant advantages to what's out there. And we've had an amazing year at Neurable. Can you guys believe we started our company a year ago? And we already have 6 software prototypes and 4 hardware prototypes as well too. We've tested our system on 190 people, even people who have severe disabilities. We've been able to present at South by Southwest, TED, and CES. We're also in the finals of the Michigan Business Program. We've been doing a whole bunch of other things. For example, we competed in the Cardinal Challenge, and we're also in the startup. We have a motivated, committed team that's really making a difference. For actual next stage development, we're planning on breaking into 3 steps. We're trying to turn from a laboratory-based group into a company. As a laboratory-based group, we raised $200,000, and now we're moving to our actual company development. We're going to break it up into 3 stages. Phase 1 is our actual development stage, where we're going to develop our software development kit to allow people to use our technology. Phase 2, we're going to go out there and establish those strategic partners like Lego and Microsoft, and then actually even do an Indiegogo and a Kickstarter with our technology. Finally, phase 3, we're going to be pushing our product out there. Now, this is something that you guys have to understand. This market size is enormous, and I understand that it's something that none of us on our team have handled with. And so for that reason, we're also planning on hiring a C-suite during our phase 2 leading into our phase 3, so that we have the right team to bring this technology everywhere. So with that, I'd love to thank you guys for your consideration and time. And with your help and support, we would love to connect your mind with the world. Thank you.
I'd next like to introduce each of the members of the graduating class, each of the teams, that is. TechArb requires a serious commitment on the part of the students, and tonight we'd like to recognize and commend the students for that commitment. So teams, if you could please come up when Adam calls your name and file in behind the stage here. We'll do a quick little cheesy group photo at the end. It's right there.
Branch, building the first bridge between social media and real-world connectivity. Capital data, making the gathering and use of congressional data easier and more efficient. Flux trading, providing clients with software that generates returns that consistently outperform the market. Lurie, providing college students access to healthy and affordable foods. Lurie, putting the consumer in control of their finances and helping them reach their financial goals. Heat Seat, enhancing the experience of cold weather events by providing quality and convenient solutions. Hiveland, connecting farmers and beekeepers to bring the pollination industry into the 21st century. Felicia, producing commercial-grade fish feed to small aquaculture farmers in Kenya.
Just go and fill in 2 rows.
Lisa, helping children develop empathy and cultural competence by bringing women to the forefront of U.S. history and education.
Thanks, Virginia.
Live well, driving social change by serving those who serve society. Lokai, redesigning how people engage in their cities. Missed shopping, making shopping inspiring, rewarding, and sustainable.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks, Steve.
Neurable, bringing user-friendly brain-computer interfaces to the clinical and gaming worlds.
Thanks, Michael.
Nova Robotics, providing a smart home robot that will make life safer, easier, and more fun. Point View Products.
Slow down.
Designing, producing, and distributing an array of products that consumers regularly find of value. Skillet, making healthy home cooking exciting, affordable, and convenient. And last but not least, SOA, creating a first reusable water bottle that doubles as a solar rechargeable power pack. TechArb.
All right. Yeah, let's get one photo. Adam, get in here. Thank you for entertaining that. Wait, stay up here, guys. Stay up here. Thank you, guys. You can stay up here. We got one last piece of business to finish up before we break to the live demos, and that is the presentation of the MVP award. This award goes to the team that most embodies the TechArb spirit and work ethic as voted by the class. As an aside, the program heartily endorses the cohort selection here. This is a team that was a consistent presence in the space, often working into the wee hours of the morning. But moreover, beyond their physical presence, they were, throughout our time together, really, truly present. I've personally witnessed them spend an incredible amount of time and energy building their team and their product and their business. And just as, if not more important, I've never once seen them shy away from helping other companies build their own. And that, to me, not only embodies the TechArb spirit and work ethic, but it also defines true Michigan men and women. It's what we mean when we talk about the leaders and the best. So, with no further ado, the TechArb MVP award goes to Neurable.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah.
We're supposed to take a picture?
Yeah, sure. Congrats. All right. Once again, thank you all for coming tonight. Please continue to meet the teams, enjoy the food, and enjoy the company. Thank you.
So Adrian Fortino, he's gotten super complacent. I mean, I don't want to say lazy, but I mean lazy.
My winning strategy this year is the same as last year. That's just